You know, I went to London recently and gave a speech about reform in the Middle East and the possibilities of governments that adhere to rule of law and transparency and women's rights and economic freedom. And Your Majesty, you're doing just that. I'm proud of your leadership. You're a modern leader with a big heart and a vision for what is best for your people. I also want to thank you for your very strong support and our mutual desire to bring peace to the Middle East. You know, we made a tough decision when it came to Iraq, and Your Majesty, you stood with us, and we made the right decision when it came to Iraq, because Iraq will be free and will be peaceful, and that's in your interests, and it's in our interests, and it's in the world's interest that we succeed. I look forward to discussing with you a wide range of issues of mutual concern, and I look forward to your wise counsel and advice. No, he didn't come up today with Prime Minister Blair. I did talk to the Prime Minister today. See, you're not the only guy asking questions about this thing. But, let's talk to the Prime Minister. We talked about Iraq. We talked about NATO. And we had a good discussion. I talked to him about once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. His Majesty just was with the Prime Minister.
Why is the Secretary talking?
You know, everybody knows where I stand. I gave a speech right here in the Rose Garden in June of 2002. I laid out what I believe is necessary to achieve peace in the Middle East. It starts with having a Palestinian state that is at peace with Israel, a Palestinian state based upon democratic principles, a Palestinian state which recognizes the hopes and aspirations of the Palestinian people, and a Palestinian state with leadership which is committed to defeating and dismantling the terrorist organizations who are trying to prevent a Palestinian state from emerging. I also talked about the need for the Israelis to keep in mind that if they support a Palestinian state, which they have told me they do, that the conditions on the ground must be such for a Palestinian state to be able to emerge. And that's why we're continuing to talk to them about the illegal settlements and outposts, illegal outposts and settlements, as well as the fence. Nations in the neighborhood must take responsibility. The King and I have spent a lot of time talking about this subject. He understands fully what I'm talking about. I want to remind you that it was in Jordan where His Majesty hosted us. I stood up with His Majesty as well as Prime Minister Sharon and then Prime Minister Abu Mazen and made a public declaration that we were prepared to work together for the creation of a Palestinian state. Abu Mazen has since been shoved aside and the process stalled. What the Palestinians need is leadership willing to remain committed to the aspirations of their people and bold enough to stand up and fight off the terrorist organizations. And His Majesty and I will be glad to work with such leaders as they emerge. Well, I think it's productive so long as they adhere to the principles I've just outlined. And that is, we must fight off terror, that there must be security, and there must be the emergence of a Palestinian state that is democratic and free. And this position of this government is clear and is firm. We appreciate people discussing peace. Just want to make sure people understand that the principles to peace are clear.